Hello and welcome to the Daily Royal. My name is Shelby and I have been a royal watcher for the past 10 years. In this podcast, I talk about the daily events of 7 of the European monarchies. So I talk about Belgium, the UK, Denmark, the Netherlands, Norway, Spain, and Sweden. I upload Monday through Friday with occasional bonus episodes here and there. Today we are talking about all of the events from Monday, May 10th of 2021. It's only day one of the week. I know this, but I'm feeling better about this week than I did last week. Last week I was really stressed out, not gonna lie. This week I'm feeling a little less stressed out and a little more prepared. So I'm glad we're already starting off strong. So here is the plan for the day. We are just going to talk about our normal events, and just kind of, it's a normal week. So like I mentioned last week, that's really the goal this month, is to just keep things as normal as possible, while everything's in transition. So things are pretty much going to be in transition for most of May, and then honestly, a good part of June and even into July. Just within like the household, lots of different things are changing. So I started a new job, and then there's some other stuff happening in the house that's causing some transition. So we'll pretty much have it all figured out, and then it'll be August, which is break time. Which means that this podcast goes to weekly, which is fine. And then we'll all be in a good routine, I hope. So it's fun to have the next few months of your life just know that it's going to be in mild chaos at all times. It's not fun. I don't do well with that, but that's where we're at. So anyway, there's a little bit of my mind right now. So we are going to jump in today and talk about all of the events from, wow, you guys, I think there's something from everyone. Okay. I'm going to stop talking. We're going to jump in. Let's start with the Belgian royal family. There were a couple of different things in Belgium today, but they're both kind of things one is one we always talk about, and two, there's not a lot of expansion that can be done on the second one, but that's okay. We'll talk about it because I think it's really cool. So first, it's Monday, so King Philippe held the weekly audience with the Prime Minister. They do this every Monday. They share about it every Monday, and I report on it every Monday. It's a fun time. And then also today, so Queen Mathilde, as well as two of her children, so her two younger children, Prince Emmanuel and Princess Eleanor, were watching the semi-final of the Queen Elizabeth music competition for piano. So we talked about this last week when it launched, but Queen Mathilde is patron for the Queen Elizabeth music competition. This year it is for piano, but it alternates medium, like which instrument or voice is used every year, and it goes on a cycle. So this year is piano. This is technically the 2020. It's the 2021 edition, but it's the postponement of the 2020. So there wasn't one in 2020, and so this is pretty typical, actually. It's all done a little bit differently. So in normal times, this is done in person, and Queen Mathilde will come to every performance. And frequently she'll bring a child or two with her. She has 4. Sometimes King Philippe will also accompany her. It's pretty much a family affair for them. And so today she was watching it with her 2 youngest. But she's not going to the venue. And so they're watching it live. I'm not sure. I still don't know what that'll mean for the final. That's like the one thing that's still kind of up in the air there. But that is what it was today. So today was the semifinal. I am not sure when the next series is. I wonder, I saw something that was maybe like, I just don't completely understand because it has 2 dates. So I'm not sure if this, so the semifinals will be, oh my goodness, this is not what I wanted. I'm trying to look this up, but I may not be able to. Calendar. So there is different sessions throughout the week, but the semifinals started today. There are semifinals throughout the week. Okay. And then, so that's where we're at. We're in the semifinal week. So that is what was going on in Belgium. The dog is losing her mind. She has not gotten the memo that today is supposed to be better. But so that's what was going on in Belgium. So now we are going to go ahead and move on to the British royal family. In the UK today, this is actually something that happened on the 6th, so I think that was Thursday, but they released video and stuff from it today, and I wanted to share about it a little bit. I actually, to be honest, haven't watched it yet. I meant to do that before I recorded, but I forgot. Oops. So anyway, they released video of the conversation that Queen Elizabeth had with the Royal Life Saving Society. So she talked a lot about, from what I'm understanding, she talked a lot about her experience being the first person in the Commonwealth when she was still Princess Elizabeth. And she received the Junior Respiration Award. So this is all about teaching like life-saving skills throughout the Commonwealth. And it's crazy because it's been in existence for like over 70 years, probably longer, because she looked like a teenager. And she didn't become queen until she was 27. So, or 26, but still, like, she was, these pictures that they shared were from when she was a teenager. So I thought that was really cool. And then also today in video form, another phone conversation that the Duchess of Cambridge has been having in celebration of the launch of the Hold Still book was released. And so today it was conversations with teenagers about being a member of the class of 2020. So I am very lucky in that I was not a member of the class of 2020. You know, I'm old and graduated and all of that, but now, thank goodness. But for those who are, and even for those this year, like, their senior years started out rocky as well. And some of them are ending that way. But everything was canceled, right? So in the States, our prom is like a really big deal. Graduations for high schoolers and college students are a really big deal. And they couldn't happen. And we all know this, right? Like, we all know they couldn't happen. But it was really hard. And so some of the pictures were released of, like, I think this one girl was holding her diploma and, like, it was her graduation, quote unquote, and it was just her holding her her diploma, and just what is, for the class of 2020, but also just like the experience of things just being canceled. We all lived that. I can't think of a single person that I know that hasn't had something canceled. Yeah, I mean, like, everything was canceled for so long, and it's so weird to start thinking about things maybe not being canceled. I always say that, and then I'm like, God, I feel like I'm jinxing it. But anyway, so it was really cute. I like that this is how right now they're using the YouTube platform, is to share some like differently edited video. I haven't decided if I like the way they're doing this or not. It's different, so I'm deciding still. But those were the two things that were happening public facing today, and now I will go ahead and pull up the court circular. Hopefully it's been updated because I'm looking at it before 8 o'clock. But yeah, okay, May 10th. So it looks like our court circular for the 5 royals we talk about is empty. So that's okay, and we are just going to now go ahead and move on to the Danish royal family. In Denmark, there was just one event today, and so today the president of Slovakia is on a official working visit to Copenhagen. I believe she arrived yesterday and leaves tomorrow, and so today she was able to meet with Crown Prince Frederik, which I find interesting. So I kind of did some research, and I'm trying to figure out why it was Frederik who took this meeting. And I really don't have an answer. So I think it's good that he took the meeting. I think that's like an important thing to do, but he's not, to my knowledge, he's not serving as regent. I don't know. And so this is where like I don't understand this whole summer sailing season that Denmark has, and like, is Queen Margrethe on a ship right now, or is she in a palace? Like, I genuinely don't know. It's a genuine question I have. So I don't know. I don't know if that's why he took the meeting. I also, like, I just don't understand I don't understand Denmark's sailing season and what that means. Because it feels like this is a pretty important visit and should be a head of state thing, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not one to, I mean, I am one to judge, let's be real, but I'm not one to decide these things, so I genuinely have no idea. But anyway, like, not to take away from the importance of this, I'm not sure what the reason for the official visit to Copenhagen is, but I found the picture to be a little strange, because the president of Slovakia is wearing a face mask, but Frederik is not, and I'm super confused by that. Like, I don't understand why. It feels like it should be a little more consistent. Basically, I have a lot of problems with this, but I also simultaneously loved it because I think it's really important that, of the heirs to the throne that have, how do I put this nicely, aging parents. So that doesn't include, like, the little heirs to the throne that are 18 and younger. But like the Frederiks, the Akuns, the Victorias, like, I think it's important that they start taking on some of these tasks for their future role. Like, I think that's super duper important. So I'm glad that he did it. And I think it's really important and a big step. And let's be honest, like, 95% of me prefers like this younger generation of royals anyway. Like, I don't know, especially in a pandemic life, like, they're the ones who can go out and do the things. So I don't know, I guess it's just like, it's cool, but I also have many, many, many questions. But anyway, that was the only event for the Danes today. There is something on the calendar for tomorrow, which is, a win. And then it looks pretty light for the rest of the week, but then on Sunday, hold on, I have my calendar start date wrong. On Saturday, there's a pretty big event. So Prince Christian's confirmation is on Saturday. So that'll be in the week pretty large with Denmark. So that'll be the first episode next week. So with that, we are going to move on now to the Dutch royal family and their events of the day. In the Netherlands, things are gearing up for what I'm guessing to be maybe a busier couple of weeks. Maybe, potentially, we'll see. So today, Queen Maxima attended 2 celebrations in 2 different towns, but both were with the conclusion of the 50 Days of Music campaign that was launched to encourage more primary schools, to put music into their curriculum. This is a cause that Maxima is, I think she's honorary president of More Music in the Classroom, and they did this kind of in collaboration. So Maxima's birthday is next Monday. She turns 50. And then, so obviously that's a really big deal. And so they did this kind of in a collaboration with honoring that. And so it was 50 days to get more schools to participate. And I think in one of the municipalities, they are now up to 80% of primary schools. So I don't know what they were at before, but a number lower than 80. And now they're up to 80% of primary schools in that area using a music in the classroom curriculum. So I don't know what that necessarily means. I haven't figured out the Netherlands and how they set up their communities. In Spain, they have the autonomous communities. In England, they are set up very similar to they have counties and then cities. But I haven't figured out what the Netherlands is, or really even Belgium or Sweden. I have a sort of a handle on, but not really. So I'm not sure if this area had a lot of schools in it, or if it's just they got one more school and now they have 80%, but it's still it's a good number. And so that was the goal, and it seems like it was really successful. Again, this is something I haven't watched a lot of video on yet. I'm sure I will over the course of the next couple of hours, but I haven't done so yet. But it just looks fun, and it's music, and Maxima is amazing when it comes to events like this. She's smiley and amazing and enjoys the music and just the whole event in and of itself. So I have no doubt that it was a wonderful event. And like I said, this I'm suspecting is a lead up. Obviously, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so things aren't going to be huge. So Maxima had a 40th birthday, and it was pretty intense celebration. They did a concert, and there were some foreign royals who attended, but the biggest one I remember is King Philippe and Queen Mathilde came. I think some others did as well. And it was just a cool event. And then, so I would have expected, maybe something big this year had it not been for pandemic life, but here we are. So that's what we get. But it was just, I hope it'll be a lead up. I'm not really sure. So we'll see. It's just a week away. So we'll see what the next week brings. So that is what was going on in the Netherlands today. And now we are going to move on and talk about the Norwegian royal family's events. I feel like I'm moving really fast today. I don't know. Or I'm just moving ahead. Maybe it's better this way. Opinions? Ideas? Share them with me. I'm curious. Okay, so today in Norway, there were a couple of different things, all focused on Crown Prince Haakon, but first was an announcement from the Norwegian royal house that Crown Prince Haakon will continue on. So he basically signed like a 2-year contract to continue on as an ambassador for some of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So I wanted to talk about this a little bit. I know we have talked about this before, but I wanted to talk about it a little bit in terms of like Crown Prince Haakon's role versus like Queen Matilda is also an advocate. I think Crown Princess Victoria might be an ambassador as well, but I don't quite remember. So there are 17 sustainable development goals, and Crown Prince Haakon is focused on like 2 of them, and then Queen Matilda is focused on a couple of them. So I want to let you know which ones he is focused on, because I think that's important. So I'm pulling that up. So it looks like he has a special commitment. So I'm just going to read this verbatim. It's a translation, but like verbatim to me. So as UNDP ambassador, the Crown Prince works to promote the UN's sustainability goals, with a special commitment to Sustainability Goal 1, which is poverty eradication, and 14, which is marine life. So he became, oh, cool. I love the Norwegian royal household so much in their website because they listed all 17 goals. I love them. Okay, so Haakon has been a Goodwill Ambassador for the UN for 12 years. He signed in 2003 and has obviously continued on through that. He's done a couple of different tours focused on development. Most recent one was in 2019 to Colombia, and his first one was in 2004 to Cambodia, to work with, to learn more about landmines in Cambodia. So that is really, really cool. And I think it was that he had signed for 2 new years as Goodwill Ambassador for the UN Development Program. So that's really cool. And then the other thing that happened today for him, so Crown Prince Haakon sent a digital greeting to the National Maritime Conference that was being held in Germany, actually, which is funny. And so they released the video that he sent, and it is like a tourism video for Norway. I kid you not. So it was shot on like the Oslo Inner Fjord, which apparently is like a 20-minute ferry ride or boat ride or something from Oslo's city center, which is amazing. And it's just so pretty and idyllic, and like, now I want to go to Norway. So I don't know what else to say about the video. I'm going to have it linked on the website. It's one of a few videos that I'm linking today, but like, holy crap, watch it. Really just to fall in love with like Norwegian fjords. Also, Crown Prince Haakon is speaking in English. You can hear how to properly pronounce his name. I get it close, but not perfectly because I don't speak with a Norwegian accent. I say it very, very close to right, but I'm an American, so I can't say it right. So that's always a good sign too. But those were the two things that were happening in Norway. They have a very light week this week. So like they have an event tomorrow and then that's it. For now, at least, according to their calendar. And they're pretty good about their calendar. They are really like, of the Scandinavian royals, they're the best website and the best like in terms of communicating their stuff, which I appreciate. So that is what was going on in Norway, and now we are going to go ahead and move on to the Spanish royal family. In Spain, it was a King Felipe focused day, so it was mostly an audience day. They tend to group those together. However, they were in different locations, so a little bit of a all-around busy day for him. So first, this morning, King Felipe held military audiences at the Royal Palace. So he met with kind of the typical groups. It's a group of major generals and vice admirals. I think this changes every time he does one of these, but like it's the same kind of standard. And then he also met with a group of colonels. But then there was, oh boy, this one is hard to figure out, but I think I've got it. So King Felipe met with the delegation sent to celebrate Spain's 100th anniversary of their trip around the world. I think. So I think this makes a lot more sense if you're Spanish and or know naval history, but this is the 100th anniversary of Spain's first like trip around the globe, I guess. I get kind of confused by this because I don't understand maritime anything, like at all. So I think this is what this means. And Guam played a big part in that. The island, 100 years ago. Obviously, a lot has changed in 100 years, but that is still where they landed. I think they landed in like February of this year to mark that 100th anniversary. I just made like a shrug face emoji with my body, but you can't see it. There are downsides to not recording video with this podcast because you can't see my face, my facial expressions. But anyway, so that I think is what was happening. This is one that I don't really understand. So it's just included in the military audience because he was still in military uniform and most of the people were in naval uniforms. So then that was his morning, and then this afternoon, he held an audience with the foreign minister from Kuwait, who is on a working visit to Spain. Okay, those were the events. There really wasn't that much happening in Spain. There were a lot of events, but not a lot to go into a deeper dive on, which is fine. So that is what was going on there. They have a weird kind of week. It's basically a week they should have had a while ago. That's all just coming to pass now. So we'll see what the rest of the week brings. But with that, we are going to move on to the Swedish royal family. Finishing out this episode, we are going to talk about the event in Sweden. So today, King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia took part in a digital board meeting for the Royal Couple Wedding Fund Foundation. So the royal couple in Sweden is King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia. That's what they call the royal couple. And then everyone else is like Victoria and Daniel are the crown princess couple. Carl Philip and Sophia are the prince couple, and I think I don't really know that they use this with Madeline and Chris because they don't live in Sweden. They're not super, I don't know what they use there. But my guess is probably princess couple. So this fund was created for Carl Gustaf and Sylvia's wedding, which I was thinking, I was like, that seems like a really strange thing to be having a board meeting about. And then I was like, I wonder how long they've been married. Like maybe it's kind of a milestone anniversary or something like that. Well, it's their 45th wedding anniversary this year. I don't know if that's like a milestone. I think anything is a milestone. But I don't know if that means there's going to be potentially celebration. This is all just super speculative right now. There's not much shared about the event. It was just listed on their calendar. So I don't know what this could mean. I'm hopeful that it means something. So they got married in June. So this will be their 45th anniversary on June 19th. Yes. Because it's their anniversary. It's also Victoria and Daniel's anniversary, all on the 19th, which is cute. So I don't know. I'm curious. But with that brings us to the end of the day. So I would love if you would check out thedailyroyal.com, the Daily Royal on Instagram. Thedailyroyal.com will have videos of pretty much every video we've talked about today. And then the Daily Royal on Instagram has like different photos for each event that the Royals do. So please check those out, like and review this podcast wherever you're listening to it. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. Until then, have a great Tuesday. Bye.